stop scrolling. Don't move. Look at me for 5 seconds, because this might be the most important video you watch today. If you have old pennies anywhere, your pocket, your drawer, a jar, you could be holding a coin worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands, and you wouldn't even know it. Do not spend them. I'm serious. People are losing life-changing money every single day because they think these coins are worthless. Dirty, scratched, ordinary-looking pennies. That's exactly how the rare ones hide. And here's the scary part. One tiny detail, so small most people miss it, can turn a 1-cent coin into a fortune. Miss it, and you lose everything. Right now, collectors are quietly hunting these coins. They're not telling anyone. They're buying them, flipping them, and making insane profits while everyone else spends them like nothing. Today, I'm exposing the top 3 ultra-rare wheat pennies that could change your life. And listen carefully, the last coin on this list is the rarest of them all. Almost nobody checks for it, but when they do, the value shocks them. So, before you do anything else, check your pocket, check your coins, because by the end of this video, you might realize you've been carrying a hidden fortune this whole time. And once you see it, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Coin number 1. Now listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you could completely change the way you look at every single penny you come across. Right now, somewhere in your home, there could be a coin sitting quietly in a jar, a drawer, or even your pocket, a coin that looks old, worn, and completely ordinary, but is actually worth far more than you could ever imagine. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked yet potentially valuable coins in American history, the 1951 wheat penny with the D mint mark. And before you even think this is just another old penny, you need to understand something very important. The difference between an ordinary coin and a valuable one is often so small that most people miss it completely. The 1951 D wheat penny was minted in Denver, and millions of these coins were produced during that year. Because of this, most people assume it's common, and that assumption is exactly why valuable versions of this coin continue to slip through people's hands every single day. People spend them, ignore them, or leave them sitting in collections without ever realizing what they actually have. Let's break this down step by step, because this is where things start to get interesting. First, you need to understand the design. On the front of the coin, you'll see Abraham Lincoln's profile. On the back, you'll find the classic wheat ears design, which is why these are called wheat pennies. Just below the date 1951, you'll notice a small D. That tiny letter is the Denver mint mark, and it plays a huge role in identifying this coin. But here's where most people make a mistake. They stop there. They see the date, they see the mint mark, and they assume that's all that matters. It's not. What truly determines the value of a 1951 D wheat penny is a combination of 3 critical factors: condition, color, and errors. Let's start with condition. This is one of the biggest value drivers in the coin world. A heavily worn coin, one that's been in circulation for years, might only be worth a small premium. But as the condition improves, the value can increase dramatically. Coins that are considered uncirculated, meaning they show little to no signs of wear, are far more desirable to collectors. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize. Even if your coin is worn, that does not mean it's worthless. In fact, some worn coins can still be incredibly valuable if they have rare features. So never throw away a coin just because it looks old or damaged. Next, let's talk about color, something that many beginners completely overlook. Copper coins like the 1951 D wheat penny are classified into 3 main color categories: brown, and red. A full red coin, which still has its original mint luster, is the most valuable. These are extremely difficult to find because, over time, copper naturally darkens. So, if you ever come across a bright, shiny 1951 D penny, you should pay very close attention to it. Now, we get to the most exciting part, the errors. This is where ordinary coins turn into hidden treasure. One of the most famous and valuable errors is the doubled die. This happens during the minting process when the coin design is stamped more than once, slightly misaligned. The result is a noticeable doubling effect on the letters or numbers. You might see it in the word liberty or in the date itself. To most people, it looks like a small imperfection. But to collectors, it's a sign that the coin could be worth a significant amount of money. Another important error to look for is a repunched mint mark. This occurs when the D mint mark was struck more than once, creating a slightly doubled or shadowed appearance. These errors are subtle, which is why they often go unnoticed, but they can dramatically increase the coin's value. There are also other small variations like die cracks, off-center strikes, or unusual wear patterns that can make a coin more desirable. The key point here is this: the more unique your coin is, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Now think about this for a second. How many times have you seen a penny and ignored it? How many times have you spent one without even looking at the date? That's exactly how valuable coins continue to stay in circulation. People don't check. They don't pay attention. And because of that, opportunities are missed every single day. The truth is, valuable coins are not locked away in museums or hidden only in elite collections. Many of them are still out there, moving from hand to hand, completely unnoticed. And the 1951 DeWitt penny is one of those coins that has the potential to surprise you. Imagine finding one in an old jar of coins, or getting one as change from a store, or discovering it in a family collection that hasn't been touched in years. These things happen more often than you think. And every time they do, it proves one simple fact: hidden treasure is real. But here's where you need to be careful. Not every 1951 DeWitt penny is worth a fortune. That's why knowledge is your biggest advantage. The more you understand what to look for, condition, color, and errors, the better your chances of spotting something valuable. And remember, the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth thousands can come down to a tiny detail that most people would never notice. That's why serious collectors take their time. They examine every coin closely. They use magnification. They study the smallest features, because they know that one small detail can change everything. Now, here comes the moment that really puts things into perspective, because this isn't just about small increases in value or a few extra dollars. This coin has proven that it can reach incredible prices. In fact, the highest recorded price for a 1951 DeWitt penny at auction has reached an astonishing $170,000. Let that sink in for a moment. A single penny, something most people wouldn't even pick up off the ground, selling for life-changing money. So, the next time you come across a penny, don't ignore it. Don't assume it's worthless. Take a closer look. Check the date. Look for the mint mark. Examine the details. Because you never know that one small coin could be the hidden jackpot you've been overlooking this entire time. Now, coin number 2 looks innocent, quiet, almost worthless, and that's exactly what makes it dangerous. The 1943 wheat penny with a D mint mark is a silent killer of wealth. This isn't fiction. This is real hidden treasure slipping through people's fingers every single day, unnoticed, ignored, and spent without a second thought. You might see it in your pocket, in a jar of coins, or in the loose change at the bottom of a drawer, and think nothing of it. But the moment you see that date, your heart should stop, because 1943 wasn't a calm year in America. The country was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Families were stretched thin, wages were low, and every penny counted. Confidence was fragile, and people weren't thinking about saving coins, they were spending them just to survive. Pennies, small and unassuming, were circulating endlessly, changing hands countless times, slipping through the cracks of history. Few people realized that the coins they spent every day could be more valuable than the bills in their wallets. And yet, among all these ordinary pennies, a 1943 DeWitt penny can be a hidden fortune. During 1943, the United States was deep in the midst of World War II. Copper, normally used to mint pennies, was needed for the war effort, ammunition, equipment, wiring. Every ounce was redirected for military use. The U.S. Mint adapted by producing pennies from steel coated in zinc, giving them a distinctive silvery gray appearance. That alone makes this coin historically significant, a small, tangible piece of the past. Holding one is like holding a fragment of history, a nation at war, families trying to survive, and the economy slowly recovering. This is not just a coin. It is a story of survival, resilience, and hidden opportunity. The D mint mark, stamped just under the date, seems almost insignificant at first glance. A tiny letter on the bottom right of the coin, easy to miss, and yet it can change everything. It tells collectors that the coin was minted in Denver, giving it rarity and historical weight. A circulated 1943 penny may look ordinary, but to a collector, that small mint mark is like a key to hidden treasure. Add in certain rare errors, a double die, off-center strike, or unusual toning, and the value multiplies exponentially. Every subtle detail transforms the coin from ordinary change to a collectible of enormous value. Collectors understand this. They hunt for 1943 pennies with obsession, scouring coin rolls, jars of change, auctions, and online listings. Auctions become battlegrounds, with collectors bidding aggressively, sometimes pushing the price into the thousands. One coin discovered in a garage sale roll of pennies sold for over $3,000 in an instant. Another, tucked away in an old coin jar, fetched an incredible sum because of its exceptional condition. These coins are rare survivors, each one carrying the story of decades of circulation, human hands, and history. The 1943 penny's appearance can be deceiving. The steel surface gives it a muted, silvery gray look, and minor scratches or wear might make it seem ordinary. But to a trained eye, every mark tells a story. The depth of the strike, the crispness of the details, the subtle variations in the mint mark, the way the coin has aged, all these elements are crucial. Even coins with slight imperfections can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars if they meet the criteria collectors seek. Imagine reaching into a jar of coins, brushing your fingers over hundreds of pennies, and stopping at one that catches your eye. The steel glint, the unmistakable D mint mark under the date, the crisp design. It all comes together, and suddenly your pulse races. You realize that what seemed like ordinary change could be a fortune in disguise. The thrill is undeniable. This is a coin that hides in plain sight, quietly accumulating value over decades, waiting for someone to notice. History itself adds to the allure. This coin circulated during one of the most challenging periods in American history. It passed through countless hands, touching lives during rationing, post-war recovery, and economic uncertainty. Each coin is a witness to history, a tangible connection to a time that shaped the modern United States. Collectors value this story as much as the metal because the narrative, the journey of the coin, carries as much significance as its rarity or condition. The market for these coins is competitive and unpredictable. Auctions can see rapid price increases, with buyers suddenly realizing the rarity and potential of a coin. One 1943 penny in excellent condition might start an auction at a few $100s and within minutes soar to several thousand. Private sales often reach even higher amounts as serious collectors negotiate quietly, aware of the coin's scarcity and historical significance. The 1943 wheat penny is not just a collectible, it is a statement of knowledge, timing, and discovery. Some coins also carry subtle errors that make them even more valuable. Off-center strikes, double dies, and unusual toning create one-of-a-kind variations that collectors hunt tirelessly. These tiny, seemingly insignificant details can completely change a coin's value, turning a piece of metal into a potential six-figure treasure. Every collector knows that the right coin, in the right condition with the right anomalies, can sell for amounts that seem impossible for something as small as a penny. Even for everyday people, the discovery of a 1943 wheat penny can be life-changing. Imagine digging through coins in an old jar, finding a steel penny with the D mint mark, and realizing that you could be holding $255,000 in your hand. Yes, that's correct. This coin, in pristine condition or with the right rarity features, has sold at auction for $255,000. A single penny, once considered ordinary, is now a fortune, a tangible connection to history, and a reminder that hidden treasure can be anywhere. So, before you spend any pennies, pause. Examine each one carefully. Look for the D mint mark under the date. Check the steel surface. Notice any unusual toning or subtle errors. This coin is not just a piece of metal, it is history, wealth, and a collector's dream all in one. The 1943 wheat penny is proof that hidden fortune often hides in the most ordinary places, waiting for the observant, the patient, and the curious to recognize its value. Every time you hold this coin, you hold a story, you hold history, you hold potential wealth. A coin that people have spent unknowingly for decades can suddenly transform into a life-changing discovery. The 1943 wheat penny is a reminder that treasures are often closer than we think, quietly circulating among us, waiting for someone to pay attention. Look carefully, because this penny could already be in your pocket, a silent fortune worth $255,000, and it's up to you to notice it before it slips away. Next, coin number 3. Stop for a second, because this is the coin people are losing right now, and they don't even realize it. This one doesn't scream value, it whispers it. And that whisper is worth a fortune. The 1953 wheat penny with a D-mint mark, with those deep brown layers and that very fine original look, is a hidden treasure quietly walking straight out of people's lives for a single cent. This is not fiction. This is happening every single day, as coins are spent, tossed, and ignored, while the wealth they represent slips away unnoticed. Do not spend this coin. If you blink, this silent fortune disappears forever. 1953 was a turning point year. America was coming out of the post-war era, stepping into a new kind of prosperity and global influence. The nation was rebuilding, industries were booming, and families were adjusting to a life shaped by the shadow of conflict, but brightened by opportunity. Every coin in circulation told a story. People used pennies for everyday necessities, groceries, bus rides, small tips, but some coins survived, preserved by accident or careful collectors, and those survivors are the ones that carry enormous value today. The D-mint mark on this 1953 penny, small and unassuming beneath the date, tells a story collectors understand immediately. Denver's mint numbers were lower than Philadelphia's, making these coins inherently more rare. That tiny letter transforms what looks like an ordinary piece of change into a coin that commands attention in the collector world. Even minor differences in strike, toning, or wear can create variations that elevate the coin's value exponentially. Collectors examine every line, every curve, and every shadow on the coin because those details can determine whether a penny is worth a few dollars or a life-changing sum. This coin is deceptively simple in appearance. The deep brown surface, smooth patina, and very fine original look make it visually appealing, but easily overlooked by anyone who doesn't know what to look for. Yet to a trained eye, every subtle characteristic matters. The crispness of the wheat stalks on the reverse, the sharpness of Lincoln's features on the obverse, the precision of the D-mint mark. All these elements speak volumes about the coin's condition and rarity. Even minor anomalies, like a slight doubling in the die or unusual toning patterns, can elevate a coin's value dramatically. Collectors obsess over pennies like this. They search through coin rolls, forgotten jars, and dusty drawers, hunting for examples that have survived decades. Auctions for 1953 wheat pennies can become dramatic battlegrounds, with bidders competing for the best examples. A single coin in exceptional condition might sell for thousands, while coins with rare anomalies can fetch tens of thousands or more. Each penny is a miniature story of survival, a remnant of history that has endured countless transactions, decades of circulation, and the indifference of ordinary people who never suspected its hidden worth. Imagine holding one yourself. You reach into a jar of coins, brushing past ordinary pennies, and suddenly one catches your eye. The deep brown patina, the very fine condition, and the D-mint mark beneath the date leap out at you. Your heart races as you realize you could be holding a fortune. Every scratch, every shadow, every subtle detail becomes meaningful. The coin is not just money, it is history, wealth, and potential, waiting silently for someone perceptive enough to recognize it. The 1953 penny is also historically significant. It circulated in a time when America was transitioning from post-war recovery into an era of economic expansion. People were spending, saving, and adjusting to new realities, and coins passed through countless hands in countless transactions. Each surviving coin is a witness to that history, carrying with it the story of a nation, of families, and of everyday life in the early 1950s. For collectors, owning one is not just about value. It is about holding a tangible connection to the past, a piece of history that can never be recreated. Even coins with minor wear or circulation marks can be valuable if they retain the D-Mint mark and fine original appearance. Collectors evaluate each coin carefully, considering factors like color, surface texture, toning, and clarity of the mint mark. Some coins develop rare toning over decades, subtle shades of reddish-brown, orange, or even gold, which make them exceptionally desirable. These features, while sometimes overlooked by ordinary people, can turn a simple penny into a coveted collector's item worth extraordinary sums. The thrill of discovery is one of the reasons collectors hunt for pennies like the 1953D. A coin jar, a forgotten roll, or a drawer of change can suddenly yield a coin worth tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine the excitement of finding one, the disbelief, the heart racing, the realization that something so small can hold such extraordinary value. These pennies are hidden fortunes circulating quietly in everyday life, waiting for someone to recognize their potential before they are spent and disappear forever. The market for 1953D pennies is competitive and intense. Serious collectors, dealers, and investors watch auctions, online marketplaces, and private sales closely. When a coin in excellent condition appears, bidding wars can erupt, sometimes lasting hours, sometimes ending in a few dramatic minutes. The right coin can fetch prices that would astonish most people, turning something they might have thought ordinary into a life-changing acquisition. Every subtle detail matters. Toning, die alignment, surface condition, and the clarity of the mint mark can all determine the final value. Errors make some 1953D pennies even more valuable. Slightly off-center strikes, doubled dies, or unusual toning are subtle, but dramatic differences that collectors recognize instantly. These anomalies are the reason people examine coins so meticulously, knowing that a minor feature can transform an ordinary penny into a priceless gem. Even pennies with minor circulation can be highly desirable if they have these rare features, because each coin tells a unique story of survival and rarity. Stories of discovery abound. One coin might be found in a jar of pennies passed down through generations. Another might appear in a roll purchased from a bank or in a drawer of change forgotten for decades. Every coin has its journey, and each journey contributes to its value and allure. The 1953D penny is deceptively quiet, unassuming, and ordinary in appearance, but it carries potential wealth that is anything but ordinary. And here is the moment that will make your eyes widen. A pristine 1953D wheat penny, with deep brown layers and very fine original condition, has been sold at auction for $150,000. That's right, one small penny, sitting unnoticed in pockets and drawers for decades, can be worth $150,000. A single coin, once thought ordinary, has transformed into a fortune, a collector's dream, and a tangible connection to history. So, the next time you reach for a penny, pause. Look closely. Check for the D-Mint mark, examine the color, inspect the surface for subtle anomalies, and notice the fine details that might elevate its value. The 1953D wheat penny doesn't shout, it whispers, but its whisper is loud enough for anyone who knows what to listen for. Hidden fortunes are quietly moving around us, unnoticed and unappreciated, and sometimes they're hiding in the simplest of places, right in your pocket, waiting for you to see what most people overlook. And now you see it. These weren't just pennies, they were hidden fortunes, sitting in plain sight the entire time. Every coin you just watched could be the difference between something you ignore and something that could completely change your life. And the truth is, most people will still miss it. They'll keep spending these coins without thinking, without checking, without realizing what they just lost. Don't be that person, because now you know. Now you see what others don't. So, the next time you find an old penny, you're going to look twice. You're going to check carefully, because one small detail, one tiny mark, could be the moment everything changes. And here's the reality: there are still more valuable coins out there. More hidden treasures. More silent fortunes people are losing every single day. So, if you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you hit subscribe right now. Like this video if you learn something valuable. Share it with someone who might be sitting on a fortune and doesn't even know it. And drop a comment below. Tell me if you're going to start checking your coins from today. And listen carefully. If you think pennies are valuable, wait until you see what's hiding in quarters. Go watch my previous video on Washington quarters right now, because you might already have one, and if you miss it, you could be throwing away something worth way more than you ever imagined. Don't take that risk.